Army depends a lot on collaboration and human effectiveness. Things like, how do we select people to be in the right place at the right time in their organization? How do we develop leaders? How do we create environments where people can work together effectively? It's crucial to everything that they do as an organization. My name is Dr. Dorothy Carter. I'm an associate professor of organizational psychology, and I'm also the director of the Leadership Innovation Networks and Collaboration Lab here at MSU. We study leadership and teamwork in organizational contexts, and we do that in a variety of situations, for example, like deep space exploration, scientific collaboration, traditional corporations. But right now we have a project going on with the Army Research Institute that's focused on understanding team characteristics in physical space. A lot of the research that we might typically do in teams research happens in the laboratory. What I mean by the laboratory is that we might have a controlled, confined environment, and we might bring some randomly assigned participants into that environment, and they're all sitting on computers playing some sort of simulation together. So they're not moving, they're not building anything, they're not navigating a physical environment, it's all on the computer screen. And that can provide a lot of really important information. That's the typical paradigm for laboratory studies. The downside of that approach, though, is that it doesn't necessarily look like military environments in a lot of cases. So the US Army is particularly concerned about making sure that their teams are able to build things together physically, navigate environments, watch out for enemy threats, strategize about how their team is going to move. So what we've done is we've built a laboratory study that's actually in physical space. We bring 5 participants in at one time and assign them to one of 5 roles on the team. And then they have to work together in physical space for 3 hours, building things, navigating environments, strategizing what they should do, watching out for enemy threats. A lot of times these undergraduate participants that have never met each other leave as best friends. So this experiment actually brings them together as a kind of novel experience that they've never had before. And simultaneously, we're able to get really interesting streams of data. We're able to watch what they're doing, what they're saying to each other, how they're coordinating with one another. And we're able to match that with things like, what are their individual differences? Like, what are their personality traits or skills? And how does that play a role in terms of how they coordinate and collaborate with one another in this physical space? And this fits in with our bigger program because everything we do is centered on the question of how can we make teams as effective as possible? We spend so much of our time in organizations, and so many times, our leaders are ineffective and it's demotivating to us, and we're not reaching our potential, or the environment is toxic or something like that. And I think organizational psychology can do a lot to improve people's lives in the organizational context in terms of making it a better place and making it a more safer, inclusive, positive environment.